good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. Don't forget, you can check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. That's Miramar. We all know it's right here in Miramar, and right here with me this morning is one of our very own, Commissioner Yvette Colburn. And how are you doing, Commissioner?
I am good. Good morning, Tamara. How are you doing?
I am well. Happy New Year. And I know this has been a different year this past year for everybody. Tell us how you've been doing in your office, because I know you've still been busy.
You know what? It has been a year that we will never forget, and probably for a lot of bad reasons.
Right.
But we are so fortunate to have a new year. We are here. Happy New Year to you. I hope you and your family are all safe. And I truly am happy to be able to see 2021. And yes, our office have been truly busy during this pandemic, trying to reach out to residents
Mhm.
and assist them in all the ways possible, working with the city and the community as a whole. Um, One of the things that I did soon after the pandemic is I initiated a hot lunch program for seniors,
Awesome.
because one of the first things that happened is that we had to close down our senior centers.
Mhm.
And it's been quite a few months now that our seniors, they are at home, but we do provide a hot lunch for them once a week. Just to let them know that we haven't forgotten them, even though they're not coming physically coming to the center every day like they used to.
And I was going to say, and let me tell you, the seniors in Miramar, if you guys don't know, if you're just now watching, our seniors in Miramar, very active. They are out and about at all times. They used to come to the center all the time, every day. Some of them, that was, a main outlet for them. They volunteered in the community. They came to every event. Commissioner Colburn can tell you. So they were very active. So I'm sure this has changed the way that they have done things in the last year, because again, the city had to shut down for a while.
Yes, it truly has, and they miss it, because I speak to them, and when I take the lunch to them, I see their faces, and that's a question, that they have. When are we going to be able to come back together? And we're all hopeful that that will happen soon. But in the meantime, the city continues to provide meals for them. In addition to our hot lunch, we do have Meals on Wheels that they get on a daily basis as well, based on their needs, and masks that we take masks to them to make sure that they're safe, and we continue to stay in contact with them, just lift their spirits up.
Mhm. I
We
think
want to
everybody
make sure
needs that this year to live their spirit.
everybody does. That is so true. Like call a friend.
Yeah. Well, let me ask this
Just say
question,
hi.
Commissioner Coburn. So, not only do you provide that hot meal once a week to the seniors, and of course, Meals on Wheels helps out, but also the city itself does on a very weekly basis a food giveaway at Miramar Regional Park. Did you know before this just how bad the food insecurity was in our community? I don't think I had a clue.
You know what? I would say that I know there are those who
Hmm.
who are in need. And I've always tried to seek out and assist however possible. But to the extent that the need exists now, we've had a lot of individuals have lost their jobs.
Hmm.
So I don't know that that always existed, but it certainly exists now. You have a
Right.
lot of families in need, and I'm so happy to know that the city has been able to partner with Feeding South Florida, and we are able to provide meals to so many families. Tamara, you know that we actually feed about 2,000 families every Thursday at Miramar Regional Park.
Wow.
You know, and we have thus far provided over 50,000 meals. And it's a lot of different types of meals. If anyone who has not visited or who have not obtained anything and needs something, it is every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Hmm.
at Miramar Regional Park. That's 16800 Miramar Parkway. And you have meats, potatoes, rice, vegetables, eggs, fruits, vegetables. And it's not, you don't get the same thing every time, and frankly, the city of Miramar doesn't always know what they're going to receive. But whatever that's provided to us from Feeding South Florida, that is what we provide to the residents. And folks lined up. They lined up every
And there's
week
no
for the
questions
need.
asked. You don't have to, fill out anything. They're not asking, and if you drive up in a nice car, if you drive up in a not so nice car, there's no questions asked. You just pop your trunk and they put it in.
You know what? We have wonderful volunteers and city staff that works to make this not only easy but safe. So you just drive up, pop your trunk, and we will place a bag or the box of food in your trunk, and you just drive away. And hopefully you would have everything that you need, and know that we're there every Thursday. You
That's
can
amazing. And
come
I
back.
actually have volunteered. I've actually been out there putting baskets together and everything. And I think the last time I was there, we had fish, frozen fish. We had chicken tenders. I know there was a lot of fruit. I remember that, and vegetables as well. So you get like one of each. There was milk. I remember putting milk in. So like you said, it's not the same every week, but it's staples or it's things that families will definitely need and can eat. And if you don't have anything, this is definitely a place to be on Thursdays from 9 to 11.
Tamara, it's great to know that you have volunteered as well.
Mhm,
I have been out there, my colleagues have been out there,
mhm.
and we have many community groups that do come out on a regular basis and volunteer. And it truly is meaningful. You have done it, so
Yes.
it truly feels good to be able to assist families in the way that we do on a weekly basis.
Absolutely. If
Yeah.
you're just tuning in to Good Morning Miramar, we are speaking with Commissioner Yvette Colburn, of course, from the great city of Miramar. It's right here, Miramar. And she's been talking about the food giveaway that happens each Thursday from 9 to 11 at Miramar Regional Park. Also, her initiative of giving the hot meal, one hot meal a week to seniors in our community. You also have something else that is coming up, the in-house COVID testing for seniors, and that's going to be a game changer for people who can't get out.
Well, we have already started that this past month, where our fire department actually will go to the home of our seniors and provide them a COVID-19 test, and because we don't want them to have to leave the home, and anything that we can do to assist them to help them stay safe, that's what we do. So that has been a really good initiative. Anyone who is interested can certainly give us a call. A lot of this information is online as well. They can call my office, both for the hot meal as well as for the senior testing. Even if they call our information line 602 help, we can provide that information. We want our seniors, we want our families to know that this is happening, so that if they have that need, that we can fulfill that need for them, and that they know that the city of Miramar is truly looking to meet those needs for them.
Okay. And again, if you want more information, always go to the website MiramarFL.gov, or as Commissioner Colbert mentioned, 954-602-HELP. That is the hotline for the city of Miramar. Speaking of the city of Miramar, okay, we talked about COVID-19 in-house testing. What about those vaccinations, Commissioner Colbert? I know you've been asked about those. When are they coming to Miramar, the city of Miramar?
That is a question, and you're absolutely right. We've been helping out in so many ways, as things develops, as the need comes, as the opportunity becomes, and vaccination is what's on everyone's mind right now. I've got to tell you that. I speak to the residents and our seniors, and many of them are ready to take it. And I want to say that the state is rolling out the vaccinations. And for the city of Miramar, for Broward County, for the entire state, the emphasis is on our senior residents.
Mhm.
And I encourage our residents that when we do get the vaccination, that they should definitely take it whenever it's available. While the city itself is not the one that's doing this, you have the health department is the one that's actually in charge of rolling this out throughout the different municipalities, working with the counties, working with many of the churches as well. And as it becomes available, as we are aware of it, we will let our residents know about it. But in the meantime, I want our residents to know that our fire department is ready to assist um, with that activity, ready to partner
Mhm.
with any agency that actually has the vaccination, whether it be Memorial Hospital or whoever receives it in our city. Um, in addition to that, our social services department, they are ready and waiting to be able to assist online, because we know our seniors, many of our seniors, they don't really go on the computers and do online, online registration and stuff like that. But sometimes it gets complicated for all of us.
I was gonna say, even yes, even for the two that are sitting here now, trust me, I know. Yeah. Well, you know what? And it's funny you say that because everybody does think it's so easy just to go online and sign
Yeah.
up for it. And it's really not. And particularly if you are not computer literate or you don't know, sometimes it takes me a while just on one website to try to find something that I'm doing. And I'm pretty decent at it. So imagine, like you said, someone who's 75 or 65, which is the age they're saying 65 and over for seniors, they don't
Yeah.
know how to do this kind of stuff. And if they don't have anyone to help them, that's where the city can come in. And hopefully, we will have a place in the city where they can go and get the vaccine.
Yeah, if it's not something that the seniors do all the time,
Mhm.
it's a new activity, and like you said, for you or for myself, it's if it's something new, it's going to take a while, and that's why we have made sure that we have individuals ready to assist our seniors in registering online or through or by telephone. We want to continue to assist them just as if they were coming to the senior centers. Um, in addition to that, we are prepared to take them to the location when it's time, when they have their scheduled appointments for registration. So a transportation system is ready. We have that in place for our seniors. All we need is the vaccinations. And once we get those, we are ready to assist
Okay.
in
That's
the way that
awesome.
we
Awesome
can.
news for the residents of Miramar and particularly the seniors. And of course, the rollout will continue throughout the rest of the year, trying to get everyone vaccinated. If you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Commissioner Yvette Colburn, of course, from the great city of Miramar on Good Morning Miramar this morning. Something else that you championed, and I mean, you kept at it and you made sure everybody in Miramar filled out that census. Have we gotten any numbers back yet on the completion rate? Because I'm telling you, you were a champion for that. And I thank you for that because people don't realize how important the census is.
Yeah, that was an awesome activity, something that I truly enjoy doing because I know what it means to the city in terms of receiving dollars to be able to provide these services for our seniors and for all our residents.
Mm-hmm.
We did ultimately, we did not get to 100%. I don't think anyone reached that level, but we were able to get a better response than we had 10 years ago. And
Amazing.
I'm certainly looking forward to us getting more revenues than we received in the past. I do want to tell you that one of the other things that we do, and I want our residents to know, is that my office will distribute free masks. All they need to do is to call or go
Okay.
online and register, and we will mail that out to them. I want to make sure that our residents are safe and that, we've got to protect each other. Yeah, we got to protect ourselves and we have to protect everyone else. So I think it is so important that we wear masks, that I am just mailing them out. If you need masks,
Let
I
you
will
know,
put them
huh?
in the mail for you. Okay. 'Cause I want us to get through this
Mhm.
and move on to better days.
I love that. Okay, so if you want more information and if you would like to contact Commissioner Colburn's office, do you want to give them the direct line or the
Well,
Lamar
yeah,
FL line?
absolutely. For information on any of these initiatives, they can call my office at 954-602-3143. And Tamara, let's not forget all the wonderful things that we have done for our business during this period of time. We have provided grants to assist our businesses for a number of months now, and also our residents in terms of utilities and so forth. We have provided many of that. But this past week on the 20th, we actually started a new grant stimulus program for businesses. So I certainly encourage our residents again to visit our website and make sure that they apply for this for Miramar businesses, that they apply for these funds before it run out, because as you know, this is never unlimited funding.
Right,
So
right.
it's truly important that when the funding is available and the need is there, you know you have a need, that you reach out, and try to apply right away, because it's truly sad when we have to tell folks that that okay, the funding ran out, and you just realize it's happening. So
And
I
then
want
you
to
have
make
the
sure
other
we get
side of
that.
that spectrum too, is that people don't apply. So then the money is sitting there and you guys have to use it. I mean, it's grant money. You have to give it away. And so, don't be afraid to apply for it. If you're a small business in Miramar, do not be afraid to apply for it. You just might get it.
Exactly. You just might, when you hear about these things, you I really encourage residents to just check on it and see, like you say, you just might get it.
Yep, you just never know.
Yes,
All
yeah.
right, so for more information, MiramarFL.gov, also the 602 help number, that's 954-602-HELP. And if you would like more information on any of these initiatives that Commissioner Colburn has been talking about, you can call her office directly at 954-602-3143. 954-602-3143. She'll get that mascot to you right away. It's free. She will mail it out to you because she said she wants everybody to be safe. Also, to find out more information about the in-home testing for COVID-19 for seniors and the meal giveaway, the once a week meal giveaway, hot meal for seniors. I mean, for any of this, just give our office a call at 954-602-3143. Anything else, Commissioner Coleman, before we close?
Well, thank you so much, Tamara. Truly awesome having you and working with you to get this information out. You have a wonderful day.
Well, good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. Don't forget, you can check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. That's Miramar. We all know it's right here in Miramar, and you're watching us actually on Comcast Channel 78 or worldwide on the web. And with us today, we have Cindy Arco. She is the Public Relations Manager for Comcast for the Florida region. So welcome to the show, Cindy.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's my pleasure. And particularly when we're talking about Comcast Rise. Tell us about the program that you all are doing.
Yes, so Comcast Rise is a multi-year commitment that Comcast overall as a company has made. And as most people know, particularly in South Florida, we cover most of the areas.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've started to do, it's designed to help any sort of minority-owned business that has been impacted by COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a lot of different businesses have been impacted across industries and in a lot of different ways. And so we're not just doing one thing like giving a grant or, having events or things like that. So back last October, we opened the application for the first round. So the first round specifically was only opened to Black-owned small businesses.
Okay.
With the idea being that I'm not recalling the organization, but just that Black-owned businesses were some of the hardest that were hit
Mm-hmm.
by COVID. And so there's a couple different options to what the different recipients get depending on what their needs are. So far we've had 700 across the country. And so there's 37 recipients in Florida from the first round, and 24 of those are in South Florida, either in Broward or Miami-Dade. And so what they're receiving is, some businesses may already have a commercial that they've produced themselves. So then through Effect TV, which is Comcast's advertising sales arm, they can get 90 days to air that commercial, help get the word out that their, business is still there.
Right.
Other businesses might not have had the opportunity or the resources to create a commercial. So for them, they would get the production of the commercial and the airtime. And then also from Comcast Business, there are companies that are getting a technology makeover. So that can, again, will be dependent on, what equipment they already have. It can include the different types of services.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one in some of the recipients I've spoken to is, when COVID happened, some businesses are able to do stuff virtually. Some just aren't. But even if some of them were, they might not have had the equipment or even necessarily the technical knowledge to flip some of that around. And so this is an opportunity where, we don't know how long this thing is going to last, unfortunately.
Right.
But if that could help a business, it's probably not going to be the same as before. But, continue to reach their customers. That's a good thing.
Right. And it's so important. And thank you all for doing this, Comcast, because truly when you don't have money, when you're just trying to make it in the world, then you just kind of, you lose sight of, well, when you're worried about keeping a roof over your head or, making those necessities, then it's kind of like, okay, I can't keep this business going. I don't have the capital for it. So you guys actually are making it easy, not only with possible grant money, but even being able to advertise. And that's amazing in itself, because people know advertising isn't cheap.
It's not. And I mean, for me, I think I'm always sort of in awe in people that own their own businesses and are entrepreneurs. And I think those are the type of people who have to hustle day in and day out anyway, not even when there is a pandemic happening. And so, some of these stories that I've heard, for example, there's a clothing company called Cool Creative. So they're based out of Miramar, but they just opened a store in Little Haiti in Miami. So, I mean, they opened the store in the middle of the pandemic. Even the woman, her name's Joanne,
Uh-huh.
she said, people think we're crazy, but we're so committed to this business. We had a lot of bumps along the way. For example, when the pandemic hit, they could do sell some of their clothes on their website, but they couldn't get them produced because the supply chain and factories were getting shut down. But they've managed to make it happen, and they actually opened their store on Black Friday after Thanksgiving.
Wow, that's amazing. And so with this, what are some of the qualifications that people need? So originally in the fall, it was open to Black-owned businesses only, but now minority, meaning all other minorities as well as women, correct?
Correct. So the term that gets used a lot is BIPOC, which stands for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, but that can also include Hispanic-owned businesses. Obviously, there are quite a few of those in Florida. And two things I'll point out here is just February 7th is the deadline for the next round of applications. So I feel like January is already almost over. And then the website to remember is www.comcastrise.com. Pretty easy. Because on there you will find, that's where you can submit the application, but it also has the basic rules and then also the fine print as well. Because, the businesses do have to be operating for a year or more. They do need to be located within particular service footprint. In South Florida, that's not as much of an issue because we are widespread. Home-based businesses are encouraged to apply, but they're not eligible to receive a technology makeover. That's designed for businesses that have an office space, but they could still have the opportunity for the other types of things that are given out. And then there are some types of businesses that aren't eligible, like nonprofits and chambers of commerce. So if people go to ComcastRise.com, they can see all that type of information there, and see if it's something that would be of interest to them. It's not going to hurt to look, right?
Absolutely. If you're just tuning in, we are speaking with Cindy Arco. She's the public relations manager for Comcast, the Florida region, and she's talking about the Comcast Rise grant and technical makeover that they are giving to businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses. So definitely go to ComcastRise.com for more information. I wanted to ask though, Cindy, is it just for businesses that have a good or a service to sell? Could it be for, an intrinsic business like marketing, or a business that, doesn't have a tangible item?
Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, we've had production company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think if there have been any other ones, but yes, and I know that there's one, I can't remember if it's in South Florida or not, but it's a woman who does physical therapy. And so she continues to do her physical therapy for people over, either through YouTube or through live video conferences. So yeah, so there's certainly a lot of them that do sell products like clothing. There's some restaurants, there's some hair salons, but it doesn't have to be that you have a physical product to sell.
Okay, perfect. Because again, there are so, like you said, so many businesses now, and home-based businesses that don't necessarily have, I don't have a shirt to sell you, or I don't have
Right.
a car to wash, or like you said, a restaurant to eat in, but I do have a home-based business. So, okay, perfect, perfect. And so how long will this go on? Is there a date, to get all of the applications in? Do people have to, I know now is the time to do it, but when is that deadline?
So the deadline for this round is February 7th. So this is, like I said, it's the second round. It's designed to be multi-year. I believe initially they've said is going to be 3 years. So I don't even, they're still figuring out kind of what the next steps are going to be as things are evolving. And even if you apply for one round or do not get something, you can apply for another round.
Okay.
So we may have some people who got something in the first round and get something different in the second round. It just depends on the circumstances, really.
Right. And the odds are good. I think you said it started 700 is what you guys received, and then 37. And out of those 37, 24 are here in South Florida.
That's
So
right.
listen, if you are sitting here listening to this, those are some great odds. So you should probably go and fill it out, ComcastRise.com. Why was this so important for Comcast to get involved and to help these businesses?
So when during the summer, Comcast made a commitment of, I'm going to look at my notes here just for a second. It's $100 million overall to fight things,
Wow.
Dealing with the pandemic, inequality, social justice. And so that $100 million it's $75 million in cash and then $25 million in media, like advertisements, but that's going to cover a lot of different things. So Comcast Rise is just one part of that. But, to the point of, for example, why we had it just be Black-owned businesses for the first round. There were, surveys and statistics that were done that show that those businesses, how badly they were hurt. And so we might, no one program, no one company is going to be able to solve this or any problem really, right? And so this was our way of seeing, for example, Comcast Business, that's what we know about, is helping companies you figure out how to use technology. Effect TV is about letting companies know how to effectively market themselves. And so if we can help them grow their business, it's that whole idea of you can give a man a fish or you can teach him how to fish.
Right.
So this will hopefully not only help them now, but potentially just help them with the future success of their business as well.
Well, I love this whole idea, and I love the fact that you all are continuing to give that money. That's a lot of money. I've helped y'all make some of that money because I've had Comcast for years at home. So
thank you for being a customer.
No problem. And of course, here, Good Morning Miramar, we're on Comcast Channel 78. It is the cable access channel that you all give to cities, and we appreciate just even having the opportunity to showcase what we're doing in our city through Comcast Channel 78. So thank you all again for that. And if there's anyone out there who would love to apply for this, again, it's money, it's also technology, which is so important. Like you said, a technical makeover, the commercial that will be aired so people will know about your business. Because as someone who, again, my other life is been in radio for many, many years, I know advertising works, but everybody can't afford advertising.
And especially producing a TV commercial is very expensive. It's, so a lot of people just don't, for their business, the thought of having to undertake the production of it, that cost plus to pay to air it, it's just not something that is feasible for them.
Right.
But again, yes, radio advertisements all the time. When you're in your car, you hear about all sorts of different businesses and things that are happening in your local community that you probably wouldn't know about otherwise.
Right. But again, like you said, when you're thinking, okay, the bottom line is I got to pay employees, I've got to keep this business going, I've got to keep a roof over my head, I've got to feed my family, that technology part of it, or even showing commercials. And I love the fact that you guys are working on the technology, because that is also a detriment. If you don't have your product online, or you don't have that presence, people need to know that will help your business if you have it, but it'll hurt it if you don't have it.
Exactly. Because I think nowadays, with eating out, for example, I don't know about you, but after we'd been at home for like months and months, I was just sick of cooking every day. So when there's restaurants that have the option, when I could, you can go online and order and just, go and pick it up. It makes it nice and it makes it easy. But for a restaurant to get one of those back end systems, it's not free. They have to pay for it, and they have to pay to have, hosting for their website and things like that. With the hope being that the money they spend on that will be more than made up for in additional profit that they would get from, takeout to go orders for their restaurant.
Right. Well, all right. So we're going to tell people once again, ComcastRise.com, Comcast, COMCAST, Rise, RISE.com. Please go register now, apply for it. February 7th is the deadline. Cindy
That's the
said.
date.
Yep. You got to be in it to win it, right?
Yes.
All right. So February 7th is the deadline. Please go on if you're a business, and, definitely fill it out. And you never know, you may end up being one of the lucky ones to get this great product from Comcast. And the great thing about it is it's free to them, so they don't have to pay for anything. Amazing.
Exactly. And then one thing I didn't mention off the top is that RISE actually is an acronym. So it stands for Representation, Investment, Strength, and Empowerment. And I think that, goes back to what I was talking about earlier, that this program is designed to look at, each business individually and how some of what we as a company have expertise in could help them. And then one more quick point that I wanted to make, just because it was actually specifically another business in Broward County. It's called Harris Art Studio in Hollywood.
Okay.
The owner, when I talked to her about, she's getting a technology makeover, she said, over the years, I never thought I would ever be eligible to apply for things like this, because it seems like they're usually for nonprofits, but this is the exact opposite. Nonprofits aren't allowed. It's specifically for businesses. And she said, I'd never wanted to apply for that kind of stuff before, because I felt like, oh, I'm, for-profit business. And I said, and that's, I think a lot of business owners are feeling that way, because we all try to prepare, have emergency savings, contingency plans, but how could you plan for something like this? It's just going on, and we have no idea when it's going to end. And sometimes you don't even have a choice whether you can be open or not because of government restrictions. So I'm hoping that, we'll all look back in a few years and, oh yeah, that was nothing. Probably not though.
Okay. I'm looking for that day to come too then, Cindy. That made me laugh. Thank you. I'm definitely looking for that day to come too. And we say, you know what? You remember that year none of us went to work for a whole year?
Crazy.
You were telling me you were working from home too. And we actually, Julie Guy and I just went back into the studio for the first time since March at the beginning of the year. And we were like, oh my gosh, we have not been at work together in 9 months.
Insane. And even it's like, is it weird when you go back to your building? Because I think a lot of people, it's like they just kind of never came back. They didn't realize it. So it's just like everything is like frozen in time the way it was at their desk before they left. All the mail's still there.
The date on the calendar, ours said March 20th.
Yes, exactly. Because
ours said March 20th. And we're still the only ones in the studio. It's only the morning shows, nobody else. So as soon as we get off the air, we got to leave. So,
Right.
but hopefully things will get back to normal. And yes, we will laugh about this in 3 years. So people, get that ComcastRise.com, go on it now, apply. Again, the deadline is February 7th. So you need to do it now. Thank you so much, Cindy Arco, Public Relations Manager at Comcast for the Florida region. We certainly appreciate you coming on today, and we will definitely have you on again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for watching Good Morning Miramar. Until next time, see you.